In this video, we're going to look at how to integrate MyOpenMath or WAMAP with Moodle. So from our course page, it's usually recommended that you've set up the course as much as possible you can in advance. We're going to go to Course Items and Export. And we're going to go ahead and export our entire course, and for the LMS, we're going to select Moodle. So go ahead and click that Download Export cartridge, and that will download a file onto your computer that we will use in a moment. Notice the link here for the Moodle setup instructions. These instructions will walk through what we're going to be doing in this video and will help you if you forget how to do something. So now let's switch over to Moodle. And here is my empty course. And so under Course Administration, I'm going to select Restore. In older versions of Moodle, there was an actual button that said Course Administration. Now it seems to be under this gear icon. So we're going to select Restore. We're going to pick a backup file, and so we're going to go ahead and upload a file and select that one that we just downloaded from MyOpenMath, and click Restore. So now we're just going to follow the prompts here to import this content. So we're going to merge this into the course. We're going to, I don't think we need to do any restoring of settings. Most of this we're just going to click Next on. I have no idea what any of this means. Oh, it's going to show us the content that we're importing. So if you wanted to unselect some content for importing, you can. But we're just going to go ahead and import everything here. We're going to review everything and perform restore. All right, so it looks like we're done. And now here is all of our content from MyOpenMath now in Moodle. So the thing to be aware of here is anything like a textbook link or discussion forum or video list is going to come directly into Moodle as a native item now. So this is now disconnected from MyOpenMath. If you change it in MyOpenMath, you won't see the change here, and vice versa. The assessments, on the other hand, are basically going to embed MyOpenMath inside Moodle. And so if you were to change, let's say, the questions or the assessment settings in MyOpenMath, that would be reflected when you embed the assignment. The exception to that is due dates. The due dates do not transfer from one site to the other. So unfortunately, you're either going to have to set the due dates on both sites to be the same thing, or some people will just not set a due date in MyOpenMath and only set a due date in Moodle, or vice versa. It's up to you how you want to handle that, but unfortunately the LTI integration does not automatically handle that. So now, if you haven't already, you're going to want to turn on editing for the course. And so for one of these assessments, under the Edit drop-down, we're going to select Edit Settings. And again, this is for any of the assessments here. Now, under the launch URL or tool URL here, you'll notice it says tool configuration not found. Now, if we already had like a college-wide LTI integration set up, then you wouldn't see this error message and you wouldn't need to do anything. But since we're seeing this message, it tells us that we need to do some additional configuration. So we're going to go ahead and click this plus sign after this pre-configured tool thing here to, as it says, add a pre-configured tool. And so we're going to give it a name, and so we're going to go ahead and call it MyOpenMath. And then for the tool URL, back on MyOpenMath, this is the address that you'll want to use for that. So we're going to go ahead and paste in that. For the description, you can leave that blank if you want. For the consumer key, we're going to come back to MyOpenMath and copy this key from MyOpenMath. And likewise, we're going to copy this secret or shared secret and we're going to paste it there. We don't need to worry about anything here. Under privacy, it's fine to just go ahead and leave these as delegate to teacher. You can also change it to always, and that's fine too, and probably the recommended setting. So now we're going to hit Save Changes, and that will create this new MyOpenMath tool. And now you'll see that this is showing a little checkbox saying, yes, good, now we're using this tool configuration. So if we were to go back now to, I guess I probably better save. So now if we were to go back to the course and look at any other assignment and edit its settings, ideally what we're going to see is that it's also using that tool configuration. So we only had to do that configuration step once to get it all working. All right, so now finally, the last thing that we need to do as a teacher is actually click into one of these assignments. So we're going to click on this assignment, and that's going to go ahead and now for us as a teacher, the very first time we connect, it's going to ask us to log in so that it can associate our Moodle account with our MyOpenMath account. Don't worry, it's not going to ask students to do this, and it will only ask you, the teacher, to do that, again, that for a very first time. So now we have to make a choice. It's going to give us the option to either associate this Moodle course with the course that we just imported from MyOpenMath, in which case all of our students will get enrolled into that course, or we can opt to create a copy of that course. So this would create a copy in MyOpenMath of our course and then enroll the students into that copy. If you're importing for the very first time and you're just planning on using the course, associating with the existing course is fine. The second option is handy if the course you imported is like a master course and you want to sort of create term-by-term copies of that master. Then you can select the second option. So we're going to go ahead and associate, and there we are. There is our assignment embedded into Moodle. Now students can go through and do the problems, and the grades should automatically get reported back to Moodle and show up in Moodle's grade book. Now that we've set up that initial very first assignment, all the other assignments should just work without us having to do any additional setup. And there you go. That is how we integrate Moodle with MyOpenMath.